live forever. Under Documents, Church, there's a Pi Hahiroth graphic. Pi Hahiroth graphic. I'm gonna need to show that in just a little bit. All right, so not yet, but when I get down to verse number 29, I'm gonna want to put that up on the flat screen. All right, so we're in verse number 27. We've already looked at a couple of verses about Moses, and we're going to look at the rest of these about Moses. We're going to look at Jericho and Rahab. We're going to get all the way down to verse number 31, Lord willing. If not, I'm going to divide it into two, and we'll hit Jericho and Rahab next week. We'll just see how the preaching goes. All right, Hebrews chapter 11, starting in verse 27. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. And I underlined that word invisible, and I have a reason for that. You know, Moses, when he was in Egypt, and we said this last week, what does Egypt represent? The world. What kind of training did Moses get in Egypt? Yeah, it was all worldly, wasn't it? Pharaoh said, who were the Egyptians worshiping? Many gods. Pharaoh was supposed to be the human representative of the god Ra, the sun god. And so, like he was a Marine, Ra. But those were seen gods. Those were gods that were visible. And those were gods that Moses could see, and there were different statues. And if you guys have ever watched The Mummy, or and I'm showing this in my notes, but I remember it from when we show Christ in the Passover. Each one of those gods were directly confronted in the 10 plagues. They had a frog god. What was one of the plagues? Frogs. Who got rid of the frogs? Jehovah did, not the frog god. All right? There's fire and hail. Well, they have a fire god. A weather god. Who made that stuff happen? And who couldn't counteract it? And so it was a competition, if you will, between the visible and the invisible. And Moses, by faith, didn't care about the visible. He cared about the